Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to askNK. Today we have some interesting updates for you guys. The folks at Pixologic just finished the Zbrush Summit for 2021 and it looks quite interesting. There's a couple of features that are being prepared for the next release of Zbrush, which will probably be Zbrush 2022.1 or probably Zbrush 2021.8. But either ways, the features are looking nice and they've built based off the previous features that was teased, and they are making things look even way interesting. The very first one is the interpolate. The interpolate has gotten a facelift at this point, as you can now not just interpolate based off various strokes, but you can also interpolate based off the depth of the stroke, and at the same time you can interpolate based off colors. Now this is definitely going to come in very handy for those who like to make several strokes and interpolate between them, but this isn't just it. So within the last updates, we did get to see the stager that deals with the home stage and also the target stage. Now this simply means that you can have an object at a certain point, which is where you would like this object to exist, and then you might also want to have this object full view, and that is where you would like to work on this object. Now they've taken this interpolate tool and married it with the stager in a way where you can now choose to interpolate from an origin point to a destination point of a particular subtool. And this, for those who like to make several copies, will definitely come in handy, especially for those who like to recreate those tiny rivets and bolts over and over again without relying on the array. And it also makes sense to see that within that same stager tool that there is a slider which you can use to control the number of mesh interpolations you like to get. And it makes sense in a way where you can choose to play with the sizes of the meshes. So you can go from very tiny stuff to huge ones, or from huge ones to tiny stuff, depending on how you choose to play with this. At the same time, we'll also be getting a brand new subtool visibility button. Maybe you like a particular set of models to be visible at a given time, and you might also want another set of models to be visible at another time. And this is something that will definitely take you some time to actually flip back and forth, but with the visibility buttons, it's just simple as making sure that you have that button turned on, and you can choose what subtools will be visible or not at a given time. And one of the cool tools that we already have and love in Zbrush is the knife tool. The knife tool is also getting some update, as lots of you guys complained about the fact that there was no rectangle or circular brush. The folks at Pixologic are teasing that this is also something that will be coming with the new installment of Zbrush. In most cases, you've always wanted to bevel a particular edge, a particular surface of your model, but then you find out that they're too dense, topology doesn't look good, it wouldn't support beveling, and then the folks at Pixologic shows up and they have a Bevel Pro tool. Now, the Bevel Pro tool would use your video card, and this supports both concave and convex, which means you can bevel your mesh as much as you want. So for this, all you need to do is select the mesh, then you need to activate the Bevel Pro. And once the Bevel Pro is active, it opens up a brand new window where you can select the edges that you would like to bevel. In most cases, this will just simply select all the edges, and then you can tweak this however you want. So it does have a couple of parameters that you might want to take a look at. And these things include the parameters that deals with the amount of beveling you like, if you like to have a polygon angle, if you like to soften the bevel or not, and at the same time, if you like to polish these things by group. And in this case, if you like to have a poly group at the end of the day, you can choose a polish by group and get some very interesting result. It's also worth knowing that these bevels can either be applied or you can simply leave them as creases once you're working with it. And this would save a lot of creators' time, as this just simply makes sense to see that it is now available in a powerful tool like Zbrush. So the Bevel Pro tool is one beautiful tool, and within the demo, the tool that was used was have a million polygon, and this simply means that there is a whole lot of capability that this tool would have to offer. So for those that have been thinking about beveling in Zbrush, you just have to wait for this release to come out, and hopefully the folks at Pixologic would actually implement this one. Now let's talk about a brand new tool that I think a lot of you guys would love, and this is known as bas relief. Now, in most cases, you would like to embroider things onto a surface. Maybe you would like to engrave them. And of course, if you choose to create things like alphas out of this object, in most cases, you don't get the depth. You actually don't get it in the right angle. And this can just be crazy. Now, think about the possibilities that the bas relief will be bringing to the table, as all you need to do is position the 3D model how you like it to be against the surface which you like this model to be, stamped on or engraved on. And you can simply use the bas relief to get these things working. Now, this also supports depth and textures, and it just simply makes sense. If you like to make alphas out of this, perfect. You can just go ahead and make alphas out of this. And there's a whole lot of possibilities for artists with this new tool. Now moving forward, there is also a tease of a multi-texture and also a multi-alpha. So in most cases, you would like to switch between two alphas, and probably you would also like to switch between two textures or two colors, depending on the scenario or depending on the tool or the model that you're working on. Now, the folks at Pixologic are teasing the idea that this is also something that will be very possible in the next coming release. And while we talk about multi-selection, multi-stuff, there is also a tease of a multi-selection for your subtools. So just in case you like to select your subtools by simply using the pizza box that exists within the gizmo, right now you don't necessarily need to hide your models anymore, as you can simply have that pizza box selected and you can unmask the ones you don't want to have selected. And to me, I think this is also one of those quality of life tools or quality of life hacks that Zbrush has to offer that would make a lot of sense. And while we talk about things that would make a lot of sense, we also have a brand new picker. Now this picker exists within the Dynamesh, so just in case you would like to pick the value of a particular resolution on a given mesh and you would like that value to be used to drive the Dynamesh of another model, this is it. So at this point, you can now simply use the picker button, or you can simply swipe directly from the Dynamesh slider and select the resolution that you would like to use to get your Dynamesh onto another object. These little features and updates will definitely change how people would work with the next coming release of Zbrush. There is also a tease for a distribute section that would exist within the subtools, and at the same time there is an alignment set of tools that will be coming. And these ones are very, very interesting because in most cases you would like to distribute several things, maintaining the very same distance across the subtools. And on the other hand, in most cases as well, you would like your object to snap to ground based on a particular alignment of another object that is actually snapped to the floor. And this is also really nice. I don't know if this one uses physics or anything like that, but I do love the explanation and the demo example that was done. And this seems very, very cool. So lots of cool things seems to be coming over to the next release of Zbrush. I'm still anticipating the release of the UV tool that was promised about a couple of Zbrush Summit ago, and hopefully that might be coming after this or maybe in this particular release. But who knows? These things are still things that have been teased within the Zbrush Summit, and probably we will be getting way more cooler features or this specific set of features that were just teased. And that's about it. I'd like to know what you guys think about this one in the comment section. And of course, if you like this video or you learned something from this, you can go ahead and give a like and don't forget to share with a friend. And if you're new here, it's going to be amazing for you to hit the subscribe button and also turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or the next update. And until I see you guys in the next one, peace.